Okay, what have we got today? Cordless drills. So I just want to start off by saying that, you know, take a look at how long my videos are. My videos are very short, and that's done deliberately. That's done by design. So I'm not going to give you a definitive, answer on any of the things I show. Quite frankly, because to do that would take ages, and my videos are very short, and the idea of my videos is to show you what I generally use day to day and what I like. So the stuff I'm showing the stuff that I use and I like and I get on with, and to give you an idea of what's out there, and then you can go off from there and make your own opinion and get into more detailed stuff. There'll be videos out there that will give you every single detail that you need, and that's not going to be what I do. So, when you watch them, just take that in account, that this is not a definitive anything. This is stuff that I use day to day, and I'll get on with and I like. I'm not going out buying, I'm not sponsored or buying loads of different things to compare stuff. I'm just, showing you what I use. So today we're going to talk about cordless drills and what I use, and this is going to be a really hard one because everybody has their own preferences, whether it be DeWalt, Bosch, Makita, Milwaukee. There's just so many different drills out there, and obviously years and years ago when they very first come out in the UK, we had the Makita ones with the long batteries, and that's what I started off with, and over the years progressed through different things, and as work changes from going from site to working on doors and bits and pieces, I've changed what I use, and this is the stuff for locksmithing, what I find the best there is for locksmithing. For me, this is what what I'm into, and you can see there's a big pile of crap here, and so we can go through some of it quickly to get to the crux of where I want to get. So many years ago, 18 volt was the big thing we had to have, and one of the first ones I picked up was when the big 18 volts started coming out, was a DeWalt, and you can look at this monster, look at that, that's something that's come out of Noah's Ark. I don't even think that works anymore, but this thing is huge. So when the 18 volts started coming out, they were absolutely massive, and a different type of battery system. It isn't like the universal battery system we've got now, and this is one of the one of the first ones I'd picked up, but this kind of design as they progressed. Obviously I've thrown out loads of them, and this is one of the ones I just found in the cupboard, and I just thought you'd like to see this old dinosaur. So these were big and heavy and bulky things, but the idea was it was an 18 volt, and it could, it was man enough to sort of taking over from the corded drills, so we could mortise out things and bits and pieces with something like this. But this is just too heavy. It's just ridiculous now, but at the time it was top of the range. So that's that. And then as we move forward, the drill's got smaller, and there's another DeWalt one I've got. The ampage started going up, and the drill's getting a lot lighter. And now we've got these universal type of batteries that work on different types of systems, so that one go on a drill and a grinder and all different bits and pieces. And so we start to get down, the size has come down, the weight has come down, they become brushless and all these different things. So again, this was a DeWalt, another one that I used to use a lot on site. One of my favorites was a DeWalt. I used to like them a lot, and so then we move on to a DeWalt, and then we go from there. And then we move on to Makita. Makita is another very, very popular brand. Again, I've got quite a few Makitas now because I like the batteries. That I've got quite a lot of batteries, and we can swap them around and use them. But again, these are sort of heavier duty drills. This one I actually got free from Howden's. They give it away. I used to be one of the biggest customers in the Peckham branch many years ago, and I used to get free stuff, and this was something I was given for free, and I used this for about a year or so. It come with a box of all different accessories and all that, and obviously it was a budget type thing, but not that great really. Doesn't have the guts, doesn't have the staying power. Even if you put the big ampage batteries on it, it just doesn't have it. And so it was a freebie and it was all right, but again, that soon disappeared. And I moved on to this type of Makita here, which again is a very good drill. I like it a lot. It works really well. It does the heavy duty stuff. So my day-to-day work, if I've got to do something heavy like a deep mortise, or if I'm drilling into a hard metals and stuff like that, it's going to take time, this is the drill to go for. It's got the power, it's got the torque, and for me, it does the job. So this one comes around me in the van, and if I need it, I go for it. But this is not the type of drill that I use every day, day in and day out. I just don't need this power. I don't need this weight. It's just too much. You only need it in certain circumstances. So we move on to the smaller 12 volt stuff. Now the 12 volt stuff is so much better than it was. Going back quite a few years, it's one of the very first 12 volts I picked up, this AEG. I've had this donkey's years. This sits in the workshop now, just undoes screws on cases and bits. Still going. I mean, this has got to be 15 years old and it's still going. It still does the job. It's not got much guts, but it can undo screws and do screws up. And at the time it was okay. It couldn't compete with the other drills. It couldn't do a proper day's work. But again, this is quite old and the technology moves on. One of the other small ones, I've got this as a set. This is the DeWalt one. I've got this and a little tiny pistol drill to go with it. Another little 12 volt, 10.8 volt system. You can see this drill has hardly been used. This isn't what they call an impact driver, and most of you will know what an impact driver is. I don't like them. I hate them. I think this is a horrible tool. I'm not very keen. Lots of people use them. I don't think it's got any control and it hammers away. To me, it's like a rivet fastener. I just, you know, maybe it's just because I come from a different generation, but this is not a tool that I will use. I will not put screws in, undo screws with it. You know, maybe if you're doing some decking or something, maybe, but not on the kind of work I do. This is, to me, this has never been used on a job. This has just been slung under the bench and it's getting slung back under the bench. So we move on to Bosch. Now this is the bit I wanted to get to. Now Bosch is where, you know, I am at the moment. Now there are different ones. I mean, there are, I know Milwaukee does something very, very similar. I mean, if not the same kind of drill, because they do the same functions. So I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, come out with, you know, the same factory in some kind of way, because they're so similar. And an interesting side note, this is a Dremel battery, so I have a little cordless Dremel, and if you look at them, they actually are the same battery. They do charge in the same chargers, so I can use one charger for both. They don't go in universally though. There is slight differences with the clip system, so you know the Dremel will not go in the Bosch, but the batteries are the same. So again, there's something going on there more than I know. Just thought it was an interesting little side note. So we started off with one of these small little screwdriver drills. I've had this again a very long time. I used to use this in kitchen fitting when I used to do a bit. And this is handy for getting into tight little corners and stuff. But again, that's an old drill that I don't really use anymore. It is only for screwdriver bits. So, you know, I've had that a long time, but I don't really use that anymore. These are the ones that I really use, and there are different grades. So, you know, when you go through them or when you go shopping, there are different types of grades of the actual drill. This is sort of a cheaper version of this size. It's slightly bigger, as you can see, compared to these two, but works again on the same batteries. I've got the 12 volt system, and it comes with a 1.5 and a 2 amp. I've got quite a few of these batteries. There is a slightly larger one that's got the more ampage, like 5 ampage. Don't have those, but again, Milwaukee do the same things. So, you know, again, it's something very, very similar with the products. But again, this is the cheaper one. So if you ever hunt around on like some of the stores, this is the one you can pick up quite cheaply. Again, it's a good little drill. It's an everyday drill. This is all you use all day for putting screws in, drilling out small light items. Does the job very well. And these are my two drills that I use every day. This is my everyday drills, and 85% of the work I do is done with those drills. This one I carry in my bag for drilling, so if I've got a pilot hole and drill and you know, countersink and stuff. And then this is my favourite. This is the one that I use all the time, and I absolutely love it. I think this drill is worth every single penny that I paid for it. It also comes with a couple of attachments, so you've got a right angle attachment here and an offset attachment here, which is really, really handy. And you know, it's so simple to change. You just turn it, the chuck, turn that, put this on, lock it, and then you've got this in a different angle, maybe an awkward angle, and then you can move it round again to another angle. I mean, this has come in so handy for me getting into little corners and bits and pieces. I've used that quite a lot. Not really used the offset one, but you can see where, you know, you could use this. Look how quick they change over in a particular action if you need it to get to something. You know, I just highly recommend this version. Now, I'm assuming a friend of mine, Jason, uses the Milwaukee stuff, and I will be picking up some Milwaukee stuff after looking some of these reviews. And it's you know, they do exactly the same type of tool with the same type of attachment, so I'm assuming it does the same job. But for me, if you've got to buy one, and there's the code on it, as you can see, I've had quite a lot of drills, and over the years I've had lots of drills, and this is my number one for screwing. So any kind of screwing in or out, this is the kiddie. Any kind of light drilling, this is the kiddie. These are the two main drills that carry with me all the time. They're small, compact. The battery life is excellent. The torque is really good. And for a little 12 volt, you know, I pick this over the 18 volt any day, unless I've got to drill something really heavy. So yeah, that's just a quick wrap up to give you a general idea on some of the drills I use. And yeah, if you like them, you know, go and have a little hunt around and see what you can find. Cheers. In a rush to get the video finished, I almost forgot. These little 12 volt systems, there is a massive range of tools to go with them as well, which again, just like the 18 volt systems and the 24 volts, all the bigger stuff, they're all interchangeable. So I do actually have some extra tools to go with these as well. And you know, in a rush to get the video done quickly, I quit it. So another tool that is part of this 12 volt system, I've got this little multi-tool here, which again, with the 12 volt battery, surprisingly powerful, does really well. I mean, again, it's just a nice, light, small, compact tool thrown in the van, all on the same battery, job done. And then also this little reciprocating saw, which is again a really compact, small little tool. Really nice. You know, it's it's a quick lock system. You know, everything's nice about it. It's so handy if you've got to get in and cut something with a bimetal blade. You know, this is such a handy little tool with all the same battery. Again, these don't get used that often. They're not like tools I use day in, day out, but they are tools that I do use. And so yeah, I thought I'd just sort of add them in. I will be adding more to this collection of these little tools and bits and pieces, but again, it just gives you an idea of the type of things that go with these systems as an add-on. Hope you like it. Cheers.